Okay, we're going to start with our expiring contracts. These aren't bad contracts. None of them are max contracts. So, well, here's the thing. Some of them at some point in time might have been max contracts, but they're expiring. So at this point in time, a max contract doesn't look like a max contract anymore. At one point, Chris Middleton's contract, or DeAndre Ayton's contract was the fun max, as Brian Windhorst calls it. It's your rookie extension. So DeAndre Ayton, that's a max contract, $35 million. And it's expiring. So he's not going to be on this list. Like Terry Rozier, that's a really bad contract because it's $25 million. I don't even remember the last time Terry played. He was under investigation by the league. I don't even know how that all worked out. I think even Pat Riley said, like literally did an interview and said, yeah, that was a big mistake. We really botched that by trading for Terry Rozier. We thought he was going to be good. And we didn't think he was going to gamble on games. We didn't see that coming. So Vooch, $21 million, that's not even bad. Someone might trade for it. Actually, Golden State Warriors might make a move for Vooch. Then that, not as a negative asset. That contract might have some value. Tobias Harris, he was just there because Pistons needed to spend some money. And he did pretty well in the playoffs. Not a bad contract, $26 million. Scores 14 points a game. It's way too much money for a guy only scoring like 14 points a game. But, hey, you got to sign contracts. And it's expiring. And I'm sure the Pistons are glad to have him. He played a lot of games. So these are my expirings. And they deserve honorable mentions. Because I know y'all are going to be like, DeAndre Ayton not on the list? That's how you talk. That's how you bitches talk. You sassy bitches leaving comments. You know who the sassy bitches are. If you're a YouTuber as well, you know you have regular sassy bitches commenting on your videos. Go ahead, sassy bitches. You know who you are. Comment if you know you're a sassy bitch. And you know I sass back. So, Jordan Poole is the honorable mention for me. He's going to show up in other people's bad contract list, but he's really not a bad player. And I think it's a very tradable contract because at this point in time, there's 2 years left, $31 million. We could see, and we haven't seen Acton of Poole. We haven't seen a lot of, bad Jordan Poole moments this year. 20 points a game, shooting 37% from three, 9 attempts. That's going to get you out of Washington. I think you could possibly see at the trade deadline, or even before, maybe this summer, Jordan Poole gets traded. I think it's very movable. It's not a great contract, but I think it could move. So I did salary comparisons. Jalen Green and Julius Randle. I thought that was a nice touch, so you can sort of get a feel for guys that are at that value, the size of their contract. So honorable mention, not a great contract, but it could move. I gave it a 6.5 in the tradeability score. Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray's good. He's a great player, but his contract's way too big. And you see this a lot on Nuggets Reddit. They're very critical of him. And the only reason they're really critical of him is he's getting paid $46 million. And then by 2029, he's going to be up there around $57 million. If you want your fan base to not like you, all you really have to do is get paid a lot of money. And their tune will change. They'll have really high expectations for you. I'm a Nuggets fan, and I don't like Jamal Murray. I'll say it. I'll be straight up with you guys. I find him very frustrating. I think he's obviously very streaky. Sure, he had a 43-point game against the Clippers in the playoffs. That was great. I loved it. Awesome. Very cool. But there's just games where he doesn't show up. He had like 13-point games. And really what sticks out in my brain is he got hit in the face during one of the games. He got hit in the nose, and then he went down. He went down on his knees and held his nose. Hey, $46 million next year. Jamal Murray, you're going to get hit in the nose, and you need to keep playing. I'm sure it hurt. I'm sure it hurt like hell. I would have gone down on my knees too, but you got to keep playing. And you see this a lot. You know, when guys get hit in the face, and it's part of a flop, right? We all get hit in the face all the time, and no one cares. But if you get hit in the face, it's always inadvertent. It's always marginal contact. So even though it hurts really bad, and you feel like, oh, I've been disrespected, I got hit in the face. How crazy is that? I got punched in the face. Surely they're going to come back and be like, wow, flagrant foul. No, it's always inadvertent. You're never getting the call. You can't go down on your knees after you get hit in the nose, when you get brushed across the face. I know, it sucks. But Murray's kind of, I did the numbers wrong. Forgive me on this. I might redo, I can redo the numbers in post. I forgot to, because I changed the orders around. Anyway, moving on. Andrew Wiggins. Man, that's really bothering me that I didn't do that. But I'm not re-record. Oh, I'll redo in post. It's okay. These are hard because you have to do one long stream of consciousness, and you, it almost feels like you exist outside of your own stream of consciousness. Because I'm thinking while I'm talking. This isn't my actual stream of consciousness. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm kind of thinking while I'm actually speaking. These words coming out of my mouth are not exactly what I'm thinking. It's hard to describe. So Andrew Wiggins, even I kept looking at Andrew Wiggins and I kept thinking Aaron Wiggins. I'm like, Andrew Wiggins? Who's Andrew Wiggins? I know Aaron Wiggins. Isn't that crazy? Andrew Wiggins has fallen so far out of favor. Aaron Wiggins is the only A Wiggins I know, you know? So the thing about him is his stats aren't bad either. I'm just going to power through the sirens. His stats, because they're not bad, but really what brings his stock down is the Golden State Warriors were really bad, and then they traded him away, got Jimmy Butler. He went to the team where Jimmy Butler was, and that team started to suck. Oh, common denominator of sucking. Oh, man. Just troubleshooting a team. Stands to reason Andrew Wiggins creates losses. So that sucks, but the contract isn't huge. There's 2 years left on it. I think he just should stay a member of the Heat. They can't really trade that contract. You really only use it if you were making to match salaries or something, and you were trading, he was ending up on a third team that also doesn't, is sort of treading water and doesn't really know what it's going to do. He should just stay a Heat. A member of the Heat. He just belongs on a team that's sort of, we'll figure it out. Because he's kind of average. So I think the Heat will just sit on his contract and as they regroup, and he'll be a member of the Heat, and he'll play low-stakes basketball for the next 2 years, and then maybe sign minimum contracts from here on out. I'd have to imagine. So keep in mind, he's getting paid like Isaiah Hartenstein and Derek White. Overpaid. You know what I'm saying? And then, remember, Teague was saying, I don't watch Jeff Teague's podcast, but I do catch clips. And Teague was saying Andrew Wiggins had the potential. And Wiggins just didn't want to. He just wasn't interested in putting in the work and being a great basketball player. I kind of respect it. I kind of respect it if you just have the talent and you're like, dude, I'm just trying to get a couple sick-ass contracts, get my money, and then live the next 40 years as a rich guy. I'm not trying to be the greatest NBA player of all time. I have no interest. I just happen to be a guy that's blessed at playing basketball. I get it. The upside, I should explain that. The upside is just how good they could be is really it. What's the best case scenario? Make sense? So, and it's out of 10. I should include that as well. So, Jaylen Brown. I know, Celtics fans here, the sassy ones are coming out. They're like, Jaylen Brown's contract is not a bad contract. Here's the thing, y'all. I'm going to tell you what's up. Some of you watch basketball, all right? You watch way more basketball than I do, all right? You know the game. You know things I don't know. But you do not understand the salary cap, and you do not understand contracts. You do not know what a good contract looks like. So shh. So leave a sassy comment. Don't shut up. Leave a sassy comment. All I'm telling you is Jaylen Brown falls into the category of a guy that became eligible for a supermax contract and got it. And because he was eligible, management thought, well, if he's eligible, he's probably worth it. He's not. 22 points a game for a guy on a supermax contract. And I know he's got to share the ball a lot, but it's bad. I don't know. It stinks. It is not good. He's going to be the highest at some point in time, probably in 2028. I'm going to assume he's going to be the highest paid player in the league. Then I think the following year it'll be Tatum. But Jaylen Brown, highest paid player in the league, he's great. He's awesome. Finals MVP, great player. Too much money. Dare I say, way too much money. So this is a gnarly contract. This is probably one of the contracts that the Celtics are looking around. They're shopping around saying, what do you think of Jaylen Brown? Teams are saying, ooh, yeah, he's a good player. Yeah. Then they look at his contract and they're like, oh, no, thank you. We're kind of, we're looking at the Pacers and the Oklahoma City Thunder, and we're looking at the salaries on those teams, and we're saying, oh, we can do that. Hey, it can be done. We're going to do that. You mean we don't have to cut into all of our expenses? I've talked about this before. A lot of y'all, I'm becoming that YouTuber, that bullies his fans. It is funny though. I come on the side of pro owner. I am pro owner. Am I the only pro owner? Granted, some owners suck, right? But I'm an owner sympathizer, is all I'm saying. But I appreciate all the comments. I know I sound like a dick sometimes. But yeah, they do get me fuming, but I'm ultimately grateful for people engaging with this content. So we can move on to Damian Lillard. All right. Damian Lillard should be higher. I mean, he's out next season. I do not see him coming back from an Achilles injury unless he's like Wolverine, can heal himself magically. I think he's out for the whole season. Upside is a 3.1 because maybe you get Damian Lillard back for that last year on the contract, and he is an MVP. He wins the MVP. It's still kind of not a good contract, to be honest. It's not tradable at all. There's the one player, and I've talked about it before, Bradley Beal. It's kind of the only contract. You're trading negative assets with negative assets, or to get rid of Dame, you're trading away assets attached to Dame to get rid of his contract. You have to lose by trading him. I don't think that's unfair. I like Dame. I think he's a good player. He just also, he's a baller. Put the ball in my hands. He's a good playmaker, but he's a scorer. It's so funny they added him. There's, to the team, like, hey, we need another scorer. It's like, why don't we get an insanely good scorer? Yeah. What about we get an insanely good scorer that gets his own shot? Bro, you only have so many possessions in a game. If you have a ball-dominant guy, there's only 48 minutes on the clock. Anyway, hindsight's 2020. And I've criticized Dame for a lifetime. Enough for a lifetime. So Karl Anthony Towns, and a lot of people aren't going to like this one, but another guy that just because he made an All-NBA team, and also his stats are great. I think he was, second in rebounds this year? 12.8? Granted, I've said it before, if it's not an offensive rebound, who knows how you got it? Maybe it was really hard to get it. Maybe it wasn't. But either way, 12.8 rebounds a game is a lot of rebounds. And 24 points per game. Here's how much of a cat stan I am. I had him on my first team All-NBA. Yeah. He was third team All-NBA. I had him on my first team All-NBA. But that doesn't mean he's not overpaid. So I think the Knicks... I think they should trade him. I think they should trade him for Kevin Durant. I think it's a pretty good deal. And because I think you could convince the Suns that, I think with the Devin Booker connection, Kentucky, they're friends. I guess they've been boys since the way back. I think he's going to end up on the Phoenix Suns. And just because they have so much money to trade and get rid of, I think that's what's going to happen. Because his upside's a 9. I think he could be worth his contract, is really what I'm saying. I think he definitely could be worth his contract. He has the potential to be. So I think it's an easily tradable contract to a team that maybe isn't spending as much money as the New York Knicks. Karl Anthony Towns is good, but I think we're going to see teams just paying a lot less for guys, in my opinion. Just because the OKC Thunder and Indiana Pacers proved that, hey, you can actually not pay luxury tax and win championships. Because one of them's going to win. One of them is not going to be paying luxury tax, and they're going to be holding a Larry O'Brien trophy. I think a lot of the owners are going to say, geez, we wasted so much money. What am I paying these guys for? That's my thought. Man, those poor, sweet owners. Those poor, sweet little baby owners. Okay. Zach Lavine. Sexiest basketball player. I mean, he's handsome, but just the way he plays the game. Just the nicest touch. His game looks great. Between the dunking and the way he moves with the ball. He's jacked, but he's also skinny. He looks great out there, and then you look at his stats and you're like, well, I bet his stats are really bad. No, they're not. They're actually like really good. 23 points per game. Shooting 7 threes a game at 44% from 3. It makes sense. And I think the Kings did really well getting him. Because they ended up, they didn't trade for him, because they traded for those picks. They got 3 first-round picks in that De'Aaron Fox deal, and Zach Lavine was like the onion rings that came with it, that came free, just to make the salaries work. So I think he has decent tradability. He's overpaid. It's just a little bit too much money. 2 more years, $95 million, it's just a little bit too much. But what you could do, and I don't really know what direction the Kings are going to go. I mean, the Kings are talking. Who are they talking about? They're talking about getting Darius Garland or Trae Young. It feels to me, I know the owner. I forget his name. I know it's Vivek. I forget his full name, but I know they want to keep going for it, and I think it's a bad idea. I think they should sort of regroup and figure it out. And I know you only made the playoffs one time, and you lost in the first round, and I know you want to believe that you don't have to do another rebuild. You want to believe, oh, we can still do it. We're still in the middle of contention. You're not. I'm sorry. But I think they still believe that. But maybe they could get, I don't know. I think at the deadline, Zach Lavine, if he really proves himself and he's good and he's scoring a lot of points and he has stats like these and the Kings aren't bad, he's sort of proving he's playing winning basketball, they could get a first-round pick for Zach Lavine, get off the contract. Yeah, because he looks good out there too. Looks good in the uniform. PG has 4. I think I said 4. We'll see. I have to redo the numbers. But so Paul George's upside is high for me because I don't, before he was a 3rd-team All-NBA before last year. I think it's still in there, and I think it's entirely possible. He just got hurt a lot last year. All of his excuses were valid, and he's going to be great this year. I know it's sort of stupid to say that the past is not an indicator of the future, but I still think it's possible. I still believe this might not be a terrible contract. Listen, it's number 4 on my worst contracts. It's bad, but the upside is really great. You could have a All-NBA Paul George player, potentially. So it's not the worst. He's getting paid like LeBron James and Kawhi Leonard, though. Maybe you think that's fair. If he comes out and he's better than both those guys next year, then we'll say it's fair. And I think it's possible. I'm not saying he's going to, but these stats are yuck, dude. I hope he doesn't. I know he's going to. He's going to start the season doing Podcast P. I would love it if he said, "Yep, we're starting the season, so we'll see you next summer for Podcast P." He's not. He loves doing that podcast. He loves podcasting. It's his passion. So, I think I might have had, man, I'm just working on my notes, but I had some good notes on here, man. I mean, his last game, March 4th, he went 1 for 6 from 3-point land. So I had to just like pull that. He went 1 for 6 from 3. He went 1 for 6 from the 3-point line. Not good. Scored 7 points in that game. So really rough year for him. Oh, I went the wrong way. Jerami Grant. This is a bad contract. Also, something I wanted to say about Jerami Grant. Jerami Grant has a Instagram boyfriend. Go to his Instagram. Stop this video if you want to. You'll come back. It'll save your place. Dude, he has an Instagram boyfriend. He goes traveling. And his Instagram boyfriend is amazing. Takes incredible photos of him in Japan, in Hong Kong, in these different places he's traveling to. Takes quality, like Nat Geo level photos of him in these cool places. And he's decked out. He's looking swagged out, dude. He's looking fashionable in these fits, dude. I think he's gonna be. He might be doing ads for like Balenciaga or something. Look at them. They're beautiful. They're great shots. So he's got an Instagram boyfriend following him around all over Asia, taking photos of him. I gotta say, Jerami Grant, they're awesome. Now, let's talk about his basketball. Too much money. We're in the 30 millions. You're scoring 14 points a game. You got shut down in March. Granted, Chauncey Billups said, hey, you know what? It's my fault. The reason is me. The reason Jerami Grant sucked this year was because I screwed him over. I didn't utilize him correctly. So I think Billups just signed an extension with the Portland Trailblazers, and that's something you have the privilege of doing when you sign an extension anywhere. Now you can sort of start taking blame for things, even if it's not your fault. You can say, yeah, I'll take the blame for that. I'll take the blame for this, because you're in a good spot. No one's ever going to fire you if you just signed an extension. You can be quite the martyr when you sign an extension, because you can't say, if you're like your contract's ending, or like, you know, you had a particularly bad season, and you start saying, you know what, that's my fault. You know what, that's on me. I should have done this. Your boss is going to say, yeah. Oh, it's your fault? Okay, you're fired. We were looking for who to blame, and I guess it's you, because you said it was you. So, I don't know, maybe that's true, maybe it's not. I didn't really watch a whole lot of Blazers games, but Jerami Grant, it's a bad contract. I don't even know how much he likes the game. And one thing to consider is when I see contracts like this, I see guys like this, you think of the Zack Lavine thing where you think, oh, well, maybe before the deadline, if he is playing well, he'll get a team to bite on this $30 million contract. Maybe. And then you remember, oh, we talked about that last year. We said the same thing last year. And then I remembered, oh, we said the same thing the year before. Yeah, no, he's just going to chill. Low stakes basketball in the city of Portland. Brad Beal. Oh, Lord. Man, this is, there's only 2 years left on it, but the no trade clause really screws it over. I don't know what this guy's doing. I don't know what he's thinking. 17 points a game, getting paid $53 million next year. I don't know. Nobody likes him. And this, I'm just saying, Bud told him, Bud said you should play more like Jrue Holiday. Said it to his face. Unbelievable. I don't think anyone likes him there. And that would suck. That's something I was thinking about. He's like, no, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go here. I have a no trade clause. But you go into work every day and everyone's like, God, I fucking hate that guy. God, you suck, Bradley Beal. Wouldn't there be part of you that's like, trade me anywhere? I don't like being here. Nobody likes me. Maybe they do like him. It just feels like a terrible, toxic work environment. But Bradley Beal's like, maybe Bradley Beal is just at the point where he says, listen, I don't want to be here either, but I'm so pissed at you. If I were to waive my no trade clause, I'd feel like I lost. And as a fuck you to the Phoenix Suns organization, I'm not waiving my trade clause. Dude, it could be that bad in Phoenix. I got a feeling it is that bad where he's like, whatever, I'll ride it out. I got 2 more years of this. I got 2 more years of bitterness in me. I don't know. I'm not sure. I hope not. That would be pretty ugly. So, shooting. So, you know what's crazy to me? The really wild part to me is the fact that when they traded for Bradley Beal, when he was on that huge contract, when the Suns traded for him, bro, he played 50 games the season before, 23 points per game, shooting 36% from 3. He finished that season not living up to his contract even close, and the Suns still traded for him. It's not even like he had a hot season and his trade value was hot. His trade value was low, but the Suns still traded for him that summer. I need to go back and watch my videos from that summer. And no, I think I've literally talked about this contract so many times. If you type in Bradley Beal contract or something like that on YouTube, you'll get like 3 of my shorts from different videos that I've made because I've cut it into 3 different shorts. I've been talking about this contract. I'm like a day one hater on this contract, man. It's been on site with me in this contract. I'm going to stop and start the camera. Okay, so number 1 is Joel Embiid. Here's the thing. 10. The upside is 10, right? The upside is really good. Because you know what the upside is? The upside is greatest basketball player of all time, greatest season of all time. Because when he got injured, that season that he got injured, not last season, but the season before, he was averaging 34.7 points per game, and he had the highest player efficiency rating ever. Higher than Michael Jordan's season that he has the record for. He was on pace to have the greatest season of all time. Listen, I'm not a Joel Embiid stan. I'm a certified absolute G when it comes to hating on Joel Embiid. But I am telling you, if there's anything left in this tank, this guy's really good. And this contract could be worth it. The real thing is, I think this contract right now, maybe not. Maybe someone signed a higher one. But the highest amount of money is $69,000 nice. $69,000 nice. $69 million. I got so distracted by saying nice, I said the wrong number. But it's the highest contract. It's so much money. There's 3 years left on it. It's still the worst just because of what we know about his knee. That's the real problem here. What we know about his knee, it's not even the playoff disappointments. Like we'll think about that later. What we're really concerned about is 3 more seasons where he's playing like, how many did he play this year? Dude, he played 19 games? I forgot about that. I think he played 30-some the season before. That's your real concern. So I'm hoping, I want to see him play. I love watching this guy play. Aside from just like being at the free throw line all the time. He's a great player. I love watching him play because I like watching him play against guys like Jokic and Giannis. What a sight. What a spectacle. But what else do I have on him? I guess I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about the Sixers don't want to trade their 3rd round pick. Their 3rd pick overall. And I thought this was kind of fascinating because maybe they should. I think they might trade down. But what I've noticed is it is always better in the NBA. This isn't every business or every industry, but in the NBA, it does feel like it is better to not make a move at all, to not do anything risky and fail than to make a huge move and fail. Right? Because if you make a huge move and fail, you become a laughingstock. If you don't make any moves and you fail, you might get another opportunity. But if there's a crystallizing moment, a thing you did, a huge risk that you took, and it doesn't work out, all of a sudden it's like, he's the guy. I'm kind of talking about Nico Harrison. He probably wants to stay at Dallas for as long as he can because there's no other front office opportunities happening in the NBA after that job. Maybe he'll be a manager. Would he work for Nike or something? I think he was someone's agent too. Beats me. I think him and Pelinka worked at Nike together. This isn't interesting. All right. Well, thank you so much. Join the Patreon if you'd like to. I don't know what I'm going to talk about this week, but I haven't recorded yet. So thank you for being here, and I appreciate everyone being on the Patreon who's been on. Be good to your mammies. Eat a corn dog.